Okay, Hud. Are we live?
We are. We're up.
It still says battle will begin shortly. All right, but there we are. All right.
Yeah,
what's up, everybody?
We're in it.
We are back.
Behind the curtain, we got some amazing 3D artists that are we're going to introduce here in a minute. But
I'm just been a minute. Twitch right here, just saying what's up to everybody joining. I see WVXII. Well, I need to just, what is that? 5, 10, 17. What's up, friend? What's up, MMSLF? How's it going? MMSelf says, yeah. Let me see. What is it? 5. Is that? Let me see. What's Roman numerals?
Dear Google.
Dear Google, what are your Roman numerals?
What happens when you have a V after a W?
I know it's 5, 10, 2, but like, wait, what? 17? Just nice. Call me D. Okay, D. D says, super excited for this. Such a great idea. Thank you guys for making this happen. Thank you guys for showing up today. Just a quick recap. World Design Champ is when two great artists go head-to-head to create a virtual digital piece of art in 30 minutes and then render it in 5 minutes. We get to judge on it, fan vote on Twitter. And yeah, today we have two amazing artists, and it's been a while since we had our last show. It was October, but thanks for tuning in with us today, and we're going to try and get this season moving again. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's meet our battlers for today.
All right. Hello, gents. Oh, and hello,
Hey.
Kitty.
How's it going?
Good. Isaac, VORMWELT, great to have you here.
Likewise.
Excited?
Yep.
You ready?
Yeah, super excited. Not ready, but super excited.
Nice. Let's do a little bit of intros here. Isaac, you want to kick us off? Just tell us where you're from and how you got into 3D art, and any preferences on tools or anything you want to shout out.
Yeah. So my name's Isaac Taracks. I'm a 3D artist generalist. I got into 3D, back in college, just working my way up from like traditional illustration stuff all the way through like After Effects motion graphic stuff, and then kind of plopped on 3D and really liked it, and it's just kind of like grown from there. Based here in New York City, in Brooklyn, and yeah, I use cinema mostly as like my main workhorse, but I dabble in everything else to Houdini, substance stuff, the gambit of what 3D kind of has to offer. I like to just learn stuff, but yeah, mostly today I'm going to be working inside a cinema and rendering with Redshift.
Nice. Awesome. Great. Well, we're excited you're here. And
yeah, thanks for having me.
VORMWELT, how you doing?
Yo, yeah, doing well. Actually, a bit nervous, but that's to be expected.
That's good.
I guess.
Nerves will push you, right?
Yeah, I mean it's pressure. Yeah.
That's great. Well, yeah, give us a little bit of your history. How'd you get into 3D and where are you from?
Pretty recent, actually, just about 2 years ago, I guess. I come from advertising, actually, worked as a graphic designer, went to art school in Amsterdam. Was born in Barcelona originally, and then when I was about 4, me and my parents came to the Netherlands, and now living in the vicinity of Amsterdam. And 2 years ago, I just started this journey on. I really wanted to learn 3D as an addition to my graphic skill set, and I loved it so much that I'm so happy that I found it. It's really an outlet for me. I use Cinema 4D. X particles, and use DAZ for my humanoids, and a lot of other stuff, plugins, but mainly Cinema 4D, and exciting.
Nice.
Awesome.
Great.
And you're using Arnold today as a renderer?
Yeah, rendering on Arnold, which is a bit of a tough cookie to render. It's beautiful, but it renders not as fast as Octane or Redshift or whatever. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
To take that into account with the timer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll have to, but there's a lot of things I can't do, so I have to keep it simple, but not too simple, and so just make something rad. So.
Well, gents,
Hopefully.
thanks so much for being part of the show today. Let's do this thing. Cool. We're going to run through the rules real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
So
let me flip over here.
Yeah.
A second there. Great. So let's run through the rules really quick. Battlers will have 30 minutes to complete their pieces. I'll start the timer once we show the theme. Once the 30 minutes is up, then each battler will have 5 minutes to render their final image. So pieces then will be judged. I'll start with aesthetics, and then Level Bevel will judge from a technicality perspective, and then we're going to ask for a crowd vote. So be sure and watch out for a vote on Twitter. Because that's where we're going to get your input on this. And if there happens to be a tiebreaker, then you all are the ones that call it. Winner needs 2 out of 3 votes to win. And we're going to get to the theme here in a minute, but these battlers have no knowledge of the theme. So it's going to be very much like an improv.
Yep. And then quickly, just pay attention for the link in the chat room. Our producers in the back end will send you a link about 5 minutes before the battle's ending so that you guys can vote on Twitter. And let's get this on the road.
Okay. Here. It's the war cry. All right, here we go. And the theme today is a walk in the park.
Ooh.
A walk in the park.
You're free to interpret this any way you'd like. And go.
Let's...
Cool.
And the clock is starting.
Okay, so
All right.
let's think about this.
So anybody that has seen the show before knows this is one of my favorites. Is the first few minutes here.
So jumping in to Isaac's screen first.
Let's go.
It's going to be really interesting to see how the guys tackle this because the theme is a bit abstract. We've been trying to keep these themes a little bit more open so that you can interpret them literally and also in a metaphorically. But I think today's is a little bit more difficult than Battle 1 and 2. I feel like it can go either way here. So let's see. Isaac's starting with a plane over here, simple stuff. Everybody in the chat definitely ask questions. And let us know what you think of the battlers as they move through this.
Yeah. Let's go over here to VORMWELT. I'm gonna pull this up.
So let's ask either of the battlers take this question, but like what are you thinking right now in terms of interpreting the theme? Because I think a lot of what World Design Champ is about is not only just battlers going against each other in terms of design creativity, but also in terms of process and seeing really pros under pressure. So maybe Isaac, just a quick run of like what you're thinking about, how you're about to approach this.
Yeah, so I mean, time constraint. I'm trying to really section off like where I'm going to be focusing stuff. So like my biggest point right now is just like block out what the camera's even going to see. And then, with the prompt, this can lend itself to, a huge amount of work or, hopefully in this case, just a few key assets that I will shroud in darkness just so that like I can have, my immediate thought is, nighttime with like a volumetric fog light, and that will be like here in New York, kind of walking home from the subway sort of vibes of what that feels like, and then I'll probably jump in here to Quixel and see if I can assist myself with some stuff here that I won't have to really model out too much, but
Awesome.
We'll see how far that goes.
No, that's great thinking. Let's take a look at VORMWELT's screen.
All right, let's go.
Ian, how are you thinking about approaching this? And you don't have to tell us too much detail, just like general, like.
Well, I just started with an idea, and that's of course walking. So I want to give it a sort of a spin, and what I'm doing now is I just took something rendered something from. And what I will be doing now is just make sure that the textures are working for Arnold. And I'm not sure what I'm going to add, but I'm probably going to add some mesh light and some atmosphere to get it really sexy. And let's see if the theme will be clear. So it's not fleshed out, but it's just it's a process.
Right.
So.
No, appreciate you guys sharing your your thought process with us. And in the chat room, of course, theme is walk in the park. So let us know what you guys would do, you guys and gals and everyone in between would do if you had to jump in here and create a render. And of course, it doesn't matter at this point because the guys are probably going to do what they're going to do. So feel free to share your ideas and or your favorite render engines and software. Let's get some participation.
Let's jump back over to Isaac's here. I'm always this first 10 minutes is always I'm curious when things are unformed and you're really not sure where things are going. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's a seed of an idea in here somewhere, but when it starts coming together, that's when it gets exciting.
Yeah, so I mean, I've just started kicking myself out some Quixel assets, which are really great from their bridge sort of application to kind of get a head start there of just something to start scattering around the scene. It doesn't have a lot of what I was thinking that I would have maybe like a lamppost or something, or some different assets to like make this more of like a park vibe. But you know, they've got some grass and different little things that it's kicking out. So hopefully I can utilize some of these, and then maybe really quick switch out this chair that I wanted in the scene for like a lamppost or something, just to give it some visual interest in this lockup.
Woo!
So you can see Isaac's going environmental here. I'm curious, VORMWELT, where you're going.
I'm going a bit more abstract, and I think it's going to be a minimalistic background and just focus on the main object and the idea, which I'm not even really sure of. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's we got 40 minutes on the clock, I guess.
Oh no, we've got 25 minutes left.
24:09.
Yeah, so time is ticking. I mean, if I'm interpreting it, just a quick couple of thoughts. So I guess Ian is working with the node editor for Arnold, making sure that the textures all match and align. So if you've never worked in the node editor, it's basically like setting up a texture in physical render in C4D, but then there's this advanced layer where you can really get creative with your textures and nodes. Similarly, you got Isaac working through Quixel, which is another type of software platform. I think it's run by Unreal, and allows you to download assets that are pre-built, pre-modeled, and pre-textured, and Bridge allows you to bring them in quickly into Cinema 4D. Now, of course, they all cost a lot of money, and sometimes you have a collection like Isaac has right there. But again, sometimes you'll have a lot, but you won't have the exact right asset, so that becomes a bit of a challenge. I got a comment from DWVXII in the chat. Let's see. It says, a walk in the park theme kind of sparks time, like a concept of time and purpose. I imagine it to be during nighttime, maybe a surreal feeling to it. Would love to see a surreal interpretation of the theme. I feel like that's a great take on it, and we're probably going to see something a little bit like that if I'm guessing.
We got a shout out for Dali.
Exactly.
Let's go back over here to Ian's here for a minute. Ian, talk us through your thinking.
Well, I'm going to combine, I think, something to do with walking. You know, walk in the park, but just give it a twist. And I'm just going to pull in some other assets that maybe can work together to make the idea. So that's what I'm about to do now. Let's see. What do we have? Because it's just impossible to model everything right now. Usually I just model a lot of stuff, but also bring a lot of ready-made assets into the picture. But this is just too little time to do everything from scratch.
That's an interesting thing too, as well, because people in the 3D industry constantly talk about this idea of faking it or modeling everything from scratch or downloading pre-existing models. And there's a debate as to whether it's cheating or not cheating. But really, in this day and age, with all the stuff that we can do, it seems like the only way to get through a lot of pieces is to just use pre-built assets and not worry about it too much. This is a case in point, like being on the job or being under 30-minute battle time. You gotta cut some corners and find efficiencies.
Well, let's hop back over here to Isaac. I see the environment coming together.
Yeah.
Ditching a lot of assets idea and just going with like a mood or like a memory of like what these nighttime sort of things. So we're just even going to run with this being our light post, and you won't see the top of it, so you won't know. So don't model it.
We'll know.
You'll know. Everyone here will know.
Everyone here will know.
And then just going to scatter some of these
grass
guys
It is
around.
true, though. Some of the greatest renders you see, if you saw the backside, it would just be a jumble of wires and like paper cups and, and gaffer tape.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, so 10 minutes are gone, guys. 20 minutes to go. Time really burns, and I love how we've kept this really short and challenging. Let's see. Do we have any other chat people in Twitch? Just looking here. Yeah, let us know who you're rooting for, and or if you have any thoughts or questions for our competitors. Again, we'd love to see you battle on World Design Champ. We're going to try and do another one before the end of the year, and definitely a couple in January if we can. So send us a submission, worlddesignchamp.com, and follow us on all the socials if you're interested.
MySpaces.
All my MySpaces. All my.
Let's see. I'm jumping over here to Ian. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit.
Little Maddie May says Team Taracks, Purple Heart. I am going to distract you guys to tell us about your pups in a second. So get ready to talk about some dogs.
Doggies.
Some doggies. Because you both have some great stories about your pups, and I think people relate to that. I certainly do.
And be the advanced version. You got to have your dog with you.
Your dog has to
while
hit
you
render.
battle. Yeah. Pause down.
Exactly, pause down. All right, see,
Flipping
Isaac
here to
coming
Isaac.
together here,
Yep.
getting some ground textures, some ground objects. And I'm seeing some weird, some freakiness happening on the VORMWELT screen. I love it.
It's always amazing to me when it sort of starts with only a few objects, and then all of a sudden when it comes together and you can see it start to form.
We're going to go deep into the archives. Hey, there's something. Let's see if we can throw. Thank you, Maxon, for this untextured object that will come in.
All right, so I think I got it. 17, so W17, correct me if I'm wrong, says, okay, love where Ian is going with this. Says, Mom, there's a hand in my shoe. So good. Exactly. Starting to get freaky in here.
There we go.
Let's see what we have here.
I'm gonna. Oh.
So I'll be mumbling. If you hear mumbling sounds, that's me.
Keep mumbling. It's all good. Time is
see.
ticking. We're taking a look at Isaac's screen right here. It's also so interesting. I'm seeing this as a cinema artist, seeing how really you set the scene up, and it's really what the camera can capture. So everything around it is this kind of like, if you're not looking at it, you're not rendering it. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a prime example of that right here. So we got a bench, we got some lampposts, we got some. Are those leaves?
Little
Isaac?
patches.
Yeah, those are like little grass guys.
Little grass guys. Cool.
Sitting around.
And then we'll have like I'm winging it here, guys.
that's
you don't say. Well, I'm glad because we wanted to kind of come up with a theme that really you had to scratch your head a bit and kind of just go off, right? Because sometimes if it's too literal, you immediately just go for the actual object or that you think of first, and that can be kind of I don't know. We've had a couple of battles like that, so today it looks very abstract and cool.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't even see that guy. Found. That's too short.
Okay. So now I'm going to put in a mesh light and just add in some atmosphere.
Yeah, so that's also a kind of risky type of thing, right? Using volumetrics in a short render, because volumetrics gets very dirty, of course, and each render engine handles it kind of differently. Actually, I would say that Arnold handles VDBs pretty well.
Pretty well, yeah.
I feel like Octane is kind of crunchy on that. It takes a bit to get clean renders out with VDBs. And Redshift does really well, actually.
That's my hope, is that I can cheat it to be able to go pretty fast. But we'll see.
Quick note here: we just hit the halfway mark. 15 minutes to go.
Oh man!
That's the 15-minute siren.
Exactly.
We're gonna record that. We're gonna record that and put that in future episodes.
I know. Seriously, we need a soundboard.
That would be good. It's battlers' reactions, and that's the soundboard for like when things.
Yeah. So we got Live Ritually asking Ian, "What are you thinking of doing for the background here? You got the sneaker. You got mom's hand.
I'm guessing I'm just putting like a bright light behind, and just let it maybe rim light, or just do a solid color.
Nice.
Because I don't.
Let me switch back over.
With these kinds of things, I don't like doing really complicated stuff, and also we don't have time. So yeah. Let's see what this does.
Okay, Hud, let's switch over to Isaac and take a look.
Yeah, it's coming
to come together.
Isaac's full here. Awesome. Isaac, you want to talk us through your...
Yeah, so now that we're at halfway, I told myself that I should probably start seeing this not in grayscale. So gonna probably start kicking this thing off and start look debbing like the lighting and stuff, because I'm hoping that will sell a lot of the vibe of this, and then putting some textures on these things that are totally untextured at the moment. Probably going to run pretty basic texturing on a lot of it that wasn't brought over from Quixel. So we'll see really quick here.
So I'm seeing you got a dome light, you got an environment, right? You got a spot.
Yeah, so got the environment set up to catch all these volumetric lights that I'm going to contribute there.
Yeah.
Dome light to just be the main guy behind it. So we'll
this
see.
Should be B. This should be S. All right.
Oh, seeing it come together a little bit there.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can get these guys going.
So it's going to be really drastic, yeah, once you push these lights up. That's interesting. So yeah, VORMWELT's using a mesh light in Arnold, right, which is kind of like an area light in Octane. And yeah, I was watching this whole thing with David Aryev and about how don't just use an HDRI to light your scene, always mix them. And here's a prime example of how we're gonna see that happen.
I think I'm gonna just skip the plane.
Move cameras around here because I want to see that preview. There we go.
Yeah. All right, we're seeing a little bit of the IPR on VORMWELT's screen. This is already looking moody and weird.
That's my thing, moody and weird, man. Moody and weird.
Hey, like you're right
Great.
here, buddy.
Nice to see the colors coming through.
Yeah, but we haven't lighted it with a skydome light yet, so let's see. Oh no, this is a spotlight. Sorry about that. Put in a skydome light. Make a mesh texture and light it with an HDRI. So
really cool.
Let's just turn this off for a moment. And just grab something here.
All right, guys, important to know, 11 minutes to go. So in about 5 minutes, Alex, our producer, is going to drop in a link for y'all. So you can vote on Twitter for who you think is winning or is about to win this. And then we're going to take your vote into account as a tiebreaker or like the 2 of 3 vote. Appreciate everybody in the chat hanging out with us today. Again, like, we're just starting the show up, so all good. It's really low key right now, small groups, but we're going to archive this like we do with every show on YouTube. World Design Champ, and we'll leave the link in the description. And then, of course, please send us your submission forms if you'd like to be on the show. We meet with everybody individually, and we talk about like how you can best be matched up with the correct battler. So definitely hit that up on our site. We got Self saying, I step away for 2 minutes, and whoa.
That's how it goes. It's amazing.
Comes together.
Turn that corner. Quickly. Now we've got a nighttime walk in a city park.
Yeah, something like that. We'll see.
So this is really cool. I mean, the Redshift. Mm-hmm. So Redshift is really an excellent render, of course. And I personally don't have, like, right now I'm much more of an Octane person, but I have Arnold and Redshift in the queue as well. And I sometimes, especially if I'm doing glass, for example, because Redshift handles specular materials incredibly well, to be honest, right? But seeing these area lights and also the mix of the spotlights is going to be cool here, and see how that gets handled. And it looks amazing already.
Just a quick shout out. We just had the 10-minute warning, but actually I would say we're at the 9-minute warning. So just a note, start thinking about your final laps.
Let's see.
Let's come back over here to Ian's. See where he's at here.
Yeah, I think it's time to distract them with dog stories, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Why don't you all tell us a long story?
Isaac?
Yeah, I kind of just picked up my dog at like an event that I was not prepared to like actually come away with the dog from. So it was kind of a funny thing of like we weren't actually like planning or like in the market, and then we kind of just like fell in love with him there and were able to get approved and like took him home as a rescue, and he's been great ever since. I don't know how we'd survive quarantine without him. He's like the nice thing that we can always like have a conversation about.
That's awesome.
Cool.
And his name?
His name is Milo. Yeah, he is a like beagle / like coyote mutt mix of all sorts of things.
I noticed awesome. You can follow Milo, right? He has his own IG.
Yeah, Milo Floppy Ears is his Instagram.
Best handle.
That's a great handle.
All right, let's
flip back over here. Yeah.
Ian, how's your pup? Tell us about your puppy.
Well, it's not a pup. He's 8 now, so yeah. But he's a big guy, big dog. It's a shepherd mix. So, but he's really really adorable. So, yeah.
Did you find him, or did he find you?
We found each other. So.
Wonderful. Does he have an IG account or no?
No, not yet.
He has a super rare account.
Like Crypto Dog.
Crypto Dog.
Yeah. So.
No. Right. VORMWELT, what are you working on here?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to put in like a neon thing here, like a neon shape. So I will. What I will do is I'll sweep it, and then put another mesh light on it.
Actually, tell us how you made the cloud. Is that like a pre-built asset that you got from?
It's a VDB. It's a VDB cloud. It's a VDB cloud. So nice. It's open VDB. Just load it in, and you can put an Arnold shader on it, which I'm going to do now, and then you can really play with the density. You see?
Yep.
Oh wow.
So you can play with the transparency. So maybe I'll just.
Yeah, definitely. If you turn up that density, the render is going to take longer. But I do remember Arnold being like, I mean, I think Redshift and Octane both have it now, but Arnold was the first to implement displace VDB. And Lee Griggs was doing this very cool kind of like
I know.
Shaders on top of the cloud stuff, which is really rad.
So,
but it takes so long to render. I did one like tutorial on that. It took me like 30 minutes to get like a crappy render.
All right, I want to do a quick shout out. We're coming into the 5-minute warning, so just thinking about your last 5 minutes here.
Yeah, let's check in with Isaac and stay tuned for this link to the poll coming up in a second.
There it is, right in the chat.
All right.
Oh, no, looks like displacement's not going to go. So, oops. It's all frozen.
So again, 5-minute warning here, and really, I think I would start getting ready to kind of hit render, but definitely use up all your time. So just to recap, so once we call mice down, you're going to hit render. We're going to have 5 minutes, give or take, to finish up a still image. For anybody who's wondering, it would be cool to do a motion piece, but given the time frame and the constraints, it would take literally 30 minutes to just render a play blast. So we're doing still images for our first season and ultimately try and move into like either satisfying loops or short videos. But today's going to be a challenging one. Both are looking really dope. Both have volumetrics, different render engines. So a very exciting battle today so far for me, and I really don't even have a favorite yet. I'm really digging both of them.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I kind of imagined Isaac's screen too. Like I'm like, yeah, that's getting there. It's a little spooky.
Yeah.
It's like who's sitting there? Who's sitting?
I like the atmospheric element of both of them. It's interesting, and two totally different scenes. There, we got about 3.25 minutes.
Yeah. And then quickly, just a shout out to the awesome GoLightstream.com. Lightstream, the software that we're using to produce this, really sick. We went through a lot of different platforms and different software to try and get this together, and this is the one. So, shout outs to Lightstream.
Yeah, they do a great job being able to do so many complex scenes and switching and multiple screen shares is huge. All right, we're coming up on 3 minutes.
Danger zone.
I know.
Danger!
There's that siren.
Yeah, you can
this is interesting. All right, so I'm particularly a fan of this type of element added to 3D renders. Now I know it got a little saturated because everyone picked up on it, but it is such a cool element to put like a torus or a primitive object in that is either like extruded or swept with a spline that is swept, so you get this kind of ring light that has an emissive texture and affects the VDBs really well. It also lights the center object in an interesting and even way. And the riff on this is cool because this is actually like a pentagon, 2, 4, pentagon or hexagon.
Octagon, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna provide some really cool angles of light and also light up the cloud behind it.
All right, we're gonna jump over here to Isaac. See how you're doing for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, just trying to get some more interesting stuff happening in camera here. Let's see if I can just pull some depth of field in. And then, I might actually pull a huge audible, push this guy.
Add a bear.
All right, y'all. 1.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Coming into the finish line. I love how these go. You always think you're going to have the time, and then we're right there. MM Self says moody. And W17, go, go, go.
Go, 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 go.
I see a few more people joined us in the Twitch chat. Leave us a shout out. Let us know if you're here. Bueller.
All right. Inside 60 seconds.
Yep. And also leave your vote on the Twitter link that's left in the Twitch chat. And we'll factor that in. Again, so what's going to happen is we'll call mice down. You're going to hit render, talk to the gents, talk about their process. And then right after that, Kyle's going to vote. We're going to get his vote. I'm going to get my vote. and we're going to hold up fingers to figure out who we voted for. And then if we voted 1 for 1, then we're going to get the Twitter vote to decide that tiebreak. If we voted together, then that will be the 2 out of 3 votes. This is something we're working out for now. Ultimately, we're going to have like a panel of judges is the plan, but for now it is low key and homebrew.
All right, 10 seconds, and then you got to put mice down and call it. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
Mice down.
Leave it.
Renders on.
So should I kick this out to the picture viewer probably?
Yep. Yeah,
cool.
keep
I'll
it
close this and get that guy going.
So I have the IPR and the actual picture viewer next to each other, so you could see.
Great.
Awesome.
Let's come back here.
Well done, gents. Amazing.
Take a breath.
Oh, thanks, man.
Stretch.
Good job, Isaac. I didn't see
Want to pull a Hemi.
Yeah, I've had the thing closed, so I've heard mentions of what yours was, but okay, so probably could have had a little bit more there on render time of 18 seconds. So
Awesome. Cool. So let's start with VORMWELT. How did that feel?
Stressed out, man.
Yeah.
I never make any artworks in 20 minutes. So it was real cool to see what you can do in such a short amount of time, and you have to be really you have to make choices early on and just go for it, because otherwise you don't have the time. We'll see how it turns out. I mean, I couldn't focus on the skin texture. Normally I would just detail the shit out of it, but that's not possible. So and I'm hoping it will render in 5 minutes, man.
I think that, let me ask, what do you think, how much more time would you take if you wanted to tweak it a bunch more? 10 more minutes? 20, 30 more minutes?
Probably for the skin, I would need maybe an extra 20 minutes or something. Yeah. And like maybe because I wanted to comp it in Photoshop also.
Right.
Like put in my tags, put in my little tags and stuff like I do on Instagram. But yeah, it just won't work.
So the theme is a walk in the park, but do you have a title for your piece, Ian?
No. I usually I spend some time on the caption also and like the concept. But this was totally like pulled out of the hat,
okay,
so to speak. So usually I spend a lot of time on my concepts, and have that fleshed out, and then you can start experimenting with stuff. It really helps to have some sort of idea or some sort of theme to start. But other people, they just begin and they just make an abstract piece. It's also cool. Everybody has their own workflow.
All right. Cool. Isaac.
Sorry. Isaac. No.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't know if I had to name it, probably like just hazy memories, because that's kind of the whole thing that like just walk in the park kind of lit up in my head as just kind of this weird idea of like the very specific like haze that like follows like a nighttime like stroll through like any park here in New York, and kind of like wanting to supplement that with like lots of depth of field of like that weird thing where you can remember something but you can't exactly like remember details of it, and that's what I'm shrouding the lack of detail in this piece with, is just there's no detail because it's a memory, so
it's a little dreamlike.
Yeah, so I mean, probably if I had to spend more time on this, it'd just be like tuning up all of the textures that were slapped in. That's normally like my favorite part of like going real deep into that stuff and like adding like dust layers and little hairs on stuff, and probably adding like real IES lights into some of the lights fall off so they're not just like spotlight stuff. But this is normally where like my sketch of an idea would go, and then after that I'm like, cool, so I'll want to get like a bench that I like, and then I'll want to get like a real lamppost, probably build out like a nice HDRI that I pick for like the backdrop and all that stuff. But this is probably where I would say, I don't know if I get here in 30 minutes due to time crunches, but this is like normally how I sketch out an idea.
Oh man, this is going to be really close, guys. I'm already at 4 minutes rendering, and it's not even, well, it's like 3/4. Oh man, this is going. Oh, this is going to be.
I think what we might have to do, and you guys, we can work this out, but maybe you take a screenshot of your IPR because that looks like it's further along, and then we can let the other
we'll
one
judge
keep
on the
cooking.
preview, and then we'll share the final.
How many time do we have on the clock right now?
I mean, we could take a couple more minutes, but it seems like it.
No, I'm almost done, but I'm just really. If it's really like 5 minutes on the clock.
It's fine. It's really, we want to get everybody, like, we want a fair judging here. I mean, obviously we could judge the IPR window, but all right. So waiting for some comments in this Twitch chat to see who won. Also, like the Twitter votes. Isaac's, is yours done? Is yours done?
Yeah, mine finished in 18 seconds.
You want to re-render? No.
I need to switch, man. I need to switch because I have a nice GPU, but Arnold is CPU. So I'm thinking about Redshift or Octane maybe. So
yeah, I mean mine's fast just because like the way Redshift deals with like Spotlight volumetrics is like very cheated. If I were to throw in and be brave like you an actual VDB, it would chug a little bit longer to finish it up.
Yeah, Redshift was really nice and also really fast with volumes, I thought. So I really liked it, and maybe I'll jump ship. So and a lot of bigger artists like Blake Catherine and a lot of people have jumped ship already to Redshift. So let's see.
I'm watching here, Ian, and yours is getting pretty close. I think we'll be able to jump over here to judging here in a second.
Yeah, so I think maybe K-Hud, if you want to just start judging, let's just move into judging right here. So K-Hud, is going to look at Isaac's screen. And,
I'm gonna pull them both up here in a minute. We've got them side by side, and then I'll look at them both. Isaac, I'll start talking about yours first, and primarily I'll be looking from an aesthetic perspective. So let's see. Let's go to judging, rendering a verdict.
I'm done. I'm done.
Perfect timing as I switch the screen. Great. Okay. So, yeah, I would say I love both of these. It's so interesting to take a theme like a walk in the park, and I've got my own ideas about where this could go, and then you both have taken them in such different and interesting directions. Isaac, I really like the sort of atmospheric and especially the light, sort of that moody. It's an interesting dusky kind of light with sort of the brown hue to it, and I like the perspective. I would say that Ian, I don't know that I could have imagined yours. Interesting to sort of go in such a unique and different direction, and I think really interesting not to sort of have a much larger sort of atmospheric piece, but to be concentrated so much there in the center. So I think I've got my
You've got your vote?
I do.
Okay, cool. We're doing 1 for Isaac and 2 for VORMWELT. All right, so I'm about to judge. So I'm looking at this. Woo! Again, I know basically the specifics of how you guys put these together. And looking at Isaac's screen, I love the way you got some rays coming through the volumetrics you're getting volumetric rays coming through the bench. It's also a really interesting larger scene, so there's a bit more environment, there's a bit more atmospherics. It feels loose, it feels wide. It's definitely got that moody, and even it's funny because there are no characters or actually identifiable creatures in this scene. It almost feels spookier than it even is. But I lived in New York, and this actually feels like you're walking in Central Park, so kudos. Technical wise, we talked about it. Using volumetrics is tricky. Redshift handles them really well. I think the object you brought in was from Quixel, was it, or a different library?
Yeah.
Ian, let's go back over to your render.
Grass is Yeah, from Quixel, there's like a mountain that, in the shift of the camera, the last minute is like there, but you can't quite see it. And then a couple content browser things just right out of Maxon. So
super cool.
Free for anyone to use. I use them a lot as placeholder in my stuff before I like go hunting or build a real asset. And they're really nice just to block out stuff. Or in this case, use when you have no time to find a real model.
Rad. All right, looking at Ian's screen, VORMWELT. Love the texture on the sneaker, actually, and the way the sneaker is reflecting the emissive texture of the ring light that you have. Of course, the VDB cloud is something that you brought in. I mean, it's always very impressive looking when you bring in high-resolution VDB meshes, so that kind of definitely amplifies it. It's a good battle tactic, to be honest, because it adds so much detail and elevates the piece. And yeah, like compositionally, something I could have never expected, and it actually really is nicely self-contained within this frame. So I think I have my vote, and we'll actually, how are we going to do this? We're going to look at the Twitter vote. Do we have that? Let's close that out first. Yep.
Yep. I think we can look at that. I think we're gonna raise your fingers, 1 or 2, right? So let's do. We'll count down here in a second. Level Bevel and I will hold up our fingers, 1 for Isaac and 2 for VORMWELT. You ready?
All right. In 3, 2,
1, go.
Congratulations.
There it is. We'll pulling up the winner screen here. VORMWELT.
Well done, Freaky.
Winner, chicken dinner.
I never thought that, to be honest, because Isaac did such a great job with the atmospherics too, and it's really moody, and he did a great job bringing all that in so little time. So great job.
Let's take a look at what the Twitter vote says anyway, and then I can just give a little bit. I think I gave the edge to you, VORMWELT, because of the emissive texture on the ring light, and that added that little extra push that made it feel a bit more complete as a piece. So from my vantage point, I think artistically they were both very strong, and I really liked Isaac's piece a lot, but I had to give you the edge because it just felt a little bit more finished.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Really happy
super
with
good
it.
Job,
and
super good job.
Really nice idea. This is going to be huge. Have these artists battling. I'm looking forward to see more artists. It's really nice.
Again, of course. Isaac, I think you did a kick-ass job, and of course, totally. Isaac and Ian, both of you are welcome to, the winners tournament, and also judges, guest judging positions whenever you guys are ready and feel like doing that. Do we have our Twitter? See who won on Twitter?
Yeah, let's see. We've got Ian's got 66.7 of the Twitter vote. So Ian's got
a unanimous decision today.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, I brought all my peeps, so maybe that's not. I riled up all of Instagram, so I just come join. And
I'm gonna leave a little piece of meat out there, but at some point there will be a rematch, I'm sure. So
yeah,
redemption will be part of this.
Yes.
So awesome. So the winner today will get $100 on Venmo or PayPal.
Wow.
Runner up will get $50. Hopefully that's worth the time you spend here with us. At least it'll get you lunch today. And we really appreciate everybody in the chat room. Again, check out worlddesignChamp.com. Follow us on all the socials. We'd love to see you battle, but of course we have to meet you and make sure that the battles are correct, because it is a curated show, and we want to make sure everybody's having a great time here.
We'll have the final pieces that we'll post on social. So if you two can send us those finals, then we'll put those up for everyone to see and comment on as well.
Cool. And just one thing, can I do a quick shout out to some of the stuff of the peeps?
Absolutely.
So I have my girl Wat. I met her on Instagram, and she's been so nice. And a lot of people like Nymphana and Overfiend, my guy from Australia. And these time zones are killing me, by the way. But Alexander from Mexico, from Chiapas. How are you?
Oh, Chiapas.
And M2.0 big inspiration for me. Works in Blender. Makes really nice renders. And I have Lucas Haan Graphics, friend of mine. Clockwork Devil, a ZBrush guy. There's a collaboration coming up with him. And Mito Dev and Paca Osina. Paca Osina is one of my first followers, and she's followed me since I had like 20 followers. So awesome. I had to mention her.
Nice.
So, thank you.
Great.
Rock on,
Isaac.
Thanks so much, everybody. Yeah,
my
Isaac,
wife.
definitely.
Yeah, my wife, and she gave me a battle strategy and was very supportive. She also jumped in here. She's little Maddie May in the Twitch chat.
Oh, nice.
Hi, Maddie May.
Yeah. And
Awesome
Milo's also my shout out, I guess, there too.
Yeah, you guys want to show your pups real quick?
Milo, Toby's not here right now because he's a bit of a pain in the ass. So he'd be barking and like destroying stuff. So no, he's a good dog, but this is better. It's quieter. So
all right, well, follow these gents on Instagram and Twitter, and ask them for puppy pictures.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture.
All right, y'all. Catch you on the next World Design Champ.
Thank you so much, guys.
Talk to you soon. Peace, everybody.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Just give me 1 second. I think we're good. Al, can you have or can you just double check the stream and make sure that as we're talking here on the last title card, we can't hear anything except the music?